Warm greetings to you all from the Delhi School's Literacy Project and from the host school, Springdale's Dholakwa. Our valedictory function today takes on a new mode of communication through Zoom as we take you down the week of inter-school literacy events. But first of all, as a member of the Springdale's Education Society, I would like to propose the formal welcome to our guests and dignitaries present here. Respected Chief Guest, Professor Babli Moitra Saraf, Principal, Indraprastha College for Women, Dr. Rajni Kumar, Chairperson, Springdale's Education Society, Directors and Principals of Schools, co-partners in the literacy movement, donors of awards, social workers, prize-winning students, and my dear friends. I would like to introduce our Chief Guest, Dr. Babli Moitra Saraf, to all of you. Dr. Saraf, Professor of English, Head of Department, Multimedia and Mass Communication, is a woman of many parts. With an MPhil in English and a PhD in Sociology, her teaching interests range from poetry, European drama, cultural studies, literature, the tradition of languages through orality and translation studies, and many more. Dr. Saraf is fluent in several Indian and foreign languages, having studied Italian at the University of Perugia, Italy, and Spanish from the University of Delhi. Her professional experience has enabled her to make interventions on gender and institutional structure and processes. Her vision has always been to mainstream the marginalized section of students at university level and empower them through various measures. Her publications are enormous, ranging from writings on culture, translation, comparative literature, the feminist canon, and her presentations include an array of children's stories, film criticism, empowering persons with disabilities, deconstructing Hindi film cinema and music, and many more case studies on cultural confluence. Recipient of many awards nationally and internationally, we are proud at Springdale's to be associated with Dr. Saraf as a member on our managing board. On behalf of Springdale's Education Society and the Delhi School's Literacy Project, I am grateful for her consenting to preside over this virtual function. I warmly welcome you, Dr. Saraf. It's a pleasure today to have in our midst Dr. Rajni Kumar, the founder of Springdale's, chairperson, Springdale's Education Society, and founder of the Delhi School's Literacy Project. It was in 1988, after her retirement, that she embarked upon her journey towards educating the marginalized section of people, in particular children, in Delhi state. Together in the National Literacy Mission, with Dr. Anil Bordia and Dr. Eldon Mishra at the time, she started a voluntary movement of Delhi school students through their principals to work for the eradication of illiteracy in Delhi state. So what began as a handful of founding schools of Delhi, today the DSLP focuses on 120 schools with more than 20,000 adults and children being made literate each year. Literacy has diversified to encompass health education, skill training, legal literacy, and vocational education. Mrs. Kumar will be giving us her greetings today, for she has been an inspiration for so many in Delhi, particularly Delhi slums to the principals of schools and their students. I accord a very warm welcome to her. Today is a special day to greet the directors, principals, donors, and benefactors attending this meet. Friends, the work of the DSLP is purely voluntary and it carries on unabated. Our student volunteers from 6th to 11th are doing commendably in spite of primers not being available from the ministry. Today's function will reveal to you the creativity of the schools as they showcase their prize-winning items. Of course, we will miss the street theatre and, of course, the learners' dance and the songs. We also have messages from the principals and directors who have very kindly hosted the online performances of students. Once again, a very warm welcome to you all. Enjoy the morning. We commence the valedictory function with an invocation dance in Kathak by the host school, Springdale's Dholakwa. May I now request Dr. Babli Moitra Saraf to kindly address us all. Dr. Saraf.
Dr. Bose, it is delightful, absolutely an honor for me to be here in the midst of this grand project that has been envisioned by the Springfield Education Society. I am proud to be part of anything that Dr. Rajni Kumar has conceptualized and implemented. And I can only thank you and congratulate you on this 32nd anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, of this project. I am amazed, actually. I've been in education for 40 years now. And from time to time, one learned in passing about the project, but the scale of it was hitherto unknown to me. And I am amazed by the kind of strides that it has made over these 30 years or so, and more than 30 years. And I do want to sort of say a little bit about this because literacy is not an ending.
छह सात ही प्राइज अनाउंस करने होंगे उन्होंने
Can you
तो जब वो प्राइज अनाउंस करेंगे ना,
ठीक है, ओके ओके,
तो तभी आप रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू कर देना।
सबसे पहले सब मुझे कुछ आवाजें आ रही थी, अब खामोश हो गई हैं। सबसे पहले मैं आप सबको बधाई देना चाहती हूँ, हार्दिक बधाई। और खासकर यहाँ मौजूद बच्चे और नौजवान जिनको हम लर्नर्स कहते हैं, उनको जो इस साक्षरता मुहिम में हिस्सा लेकर इस प्रयास को स्वरूप दिया है। आपके बिना ये मुहिम बेमायने है। और जिन छात्र छात्राओं ने स्कूलों में ईच वन टीच वन में भाग लिया है, उन पर पूरे शिक्षा जगत को गर्व है, पूरे देश के हितैषियों को गर्व है, क्योंकि उनके बगैर भी ये काम ना हो सकता। ये जो मेथोडोलॉजी, ये जो एक प्रणाली तय की है कि रिसोर्स पर्सन कौन होंगे, छात्र छात्राएं खुद होंगे, ये बहुत बड़ी मुहिम है। और इसी ने इसको कामयाब भी किया और 30 साल तक इसको चलाने में कायम भी रखा, 30 साल से ऊपर तक। तो हम सब आभारी हैं आपके बच्चों। बच्चे भी हैं, नौजवान भी है, लेकिन हम तो अभी तक बच्चे ही कहते हैं। मैं बीच में आपसे भी आपको संबोधन करूंगी, क्योंकि मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं जो कहना चाहती हूँ वो सारे आप लोग सब उस बात को सुने और समझें। तो इसलिए मैंने डॉक्टर बोस से ये इजाजत ली थी कि शायद बीच में थोड़ा सा उस भाषा में बात करूं जो सबकी समझ में आए। Anyway, I am looking at Dr. Rajni Kumar's introduction, and yes, it is a time to also, I was fortunate to meet Mrs. Lumba in Springdale's itself, and I do recall her, and I learned that she has been also the conceptualizer of this program. And this is the literacy movement is one which I don't know if it overlaps with the right to education as it should, and also converge with it. But literacy is not at the end of the day an end in itself. And that is the point that I wish to make here, that beyond literacy is education itself. And this education is not just about learners learning, it's about educators learning also. And I think that in the process of teaching, and especially if these are young boys and girls teaching younger children or their own contemporary people of their own age, then it is equally important that this sensitization and awareness program also concentrate on the component of uh, awareness of the other's situation, the circumstances from which the learners come to become literate, and what those circumstances can hold for us in understanding and creating a compassionate civil society. I think today more than ever, the necessity for a sensitization to people who are like us and yet not like us, we know that in a hugely unequal society, how to create a generation of sensitized, aware individuals who are not only conscious about their social responsibility in teaching others, but through the act of teaching also enters into those lives and tries to understand those lives. So those are the issues that I would like to flag today. आप जानते हैं कि साक्षरता या पढ़ना लिखना अपने आप में एक लक्ष्य नहीं है, लेकिन ये एक साधन भी है जो एक नई दुनिया की ओर जाने का रास्ता बनाता है और एक दुनिया में पांव रखने की एक सक्षमता हमें प्रदान करता है। वो दुनिया ज्ञान की हो या एक नई समझ की हो, और इसी में प्रवेश करके हम सब एक अच्छी और संपन्न जिंदगी जीना चाहते हैं। साक्षरता उसका एक जरिया है महज। साक्षरता के आगे उच्च शिक्षा है, और शिक्षा जो है सिर्फ किताबों में नहीं है, शिक्षा हमें, आपको, सबको हमारी जिंदगी सिखाती है। तो हम इस साक्षरता मुहिम के तहत ये मौका है एक आप लोगों के लिए। आप ये भी जानते हैं कि परिवार में किसी का पढ़ना लिखना, किसी को भी पढ़ना लिखना आ जाए तो उस परिवार की दिशा, उसके सपने एक नया रूप लेते हैं। अपने साथियों के संगत में, जो कि ईच वन टीच वन प्रोग्राम के तहत आपके साथ एक इंटरैक्शन हुआ है, आप भी प्रेरित हुए हैं और आप भी इस काम के भागीदार बने और एक और के से सीखें कि किस तरह, और सिखाएं भी और सीखें भी कि इस हमारी जिंदगी को किस तरह से आगे बढ़ाना है। इस काम में मेरी आशा है कि डीएसएलपी आपके साथ साथ हम कदम है आपकी, और आपके साथ साथ ये जो आपके साथी हैं स्कूलों के खासकर, और मैं बधाई देना चाहती हूँ स्कूलों के प्रिंसिपल्स को और उनके टीचर्स को, मेंटोर्स को, जो कि इस कमिटमेंट के साथ एकदम एकाग्रचित होकर इस चीज को 30 साल तक उन्होंने वहन किया। तो ये चीज जो है, जिस तरह से डीएसएलपी आपकी जिंदगी में एक नई सोच लाती है, जीवन की एक नई सोच देती है, आपके संगत में आपके शिक्षक साथी भी ये एक नई सोच जरूर प्राप्त करते हैं आपकी अपनी जिंदगियों से के करीब आकर। तो ये बहुत एक नाजुक और पवित्र रिश्ता है आपके और आपके शिक्षक मित्रों के बीच में, और इसके जरिए मैं आशा करती हूँ कि ये मुहिम आगे चलती रहेगी, हम आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे, और चाहे इसमें ढांचों की, सरकारी ढांचों की शिरकत हो या ना हो, हम अपने ही बलबूते पर और इन नौजवानों के कंधों पर हम इस साक्षरता मुहिम को आगे बढ़ाते रहेंगे। और मैं स्प्रिंगडेल्स को बहुत बहुत बधाई देती हूँ। आई रियली congratulate and compliment Springdales for having taken the lead in this. And all the schools, I have the list in front of me, all the schools, 120 schools we just learned from Dr. Bose's little presentation, 120 schools having taken part in this is a huge number. And this is the way that we envisage the whole movement panning out into civil society now more than ever, actually. It's not that we have come to the end of the road. We can never come to the end of the road. This is a vast country. It produces new kinds of problems and conflict situations every day. And each day is a challenge to us. Each generation, educating each generation is a challenge to us, because we have to confront a new set of problems, a new set of questions to which we must seek answers as not only educators but also members of civil society. We are at the crux of a huge challenge to us, to ourselves, as citizens of a great country. And it is a challenge that we have to meet at various levels. Under the new education policy, there is a new kind of vision that is coming into play, and we wish it all success, and we hope that all along the way we can be more inclusive. We can carry with us those who stay on the margins and are invisibilized for a whole set of conditions, for a whole set of reasons. It is that invisibility that we must seek to intervene and end. And so that as we see through these programs, I have Jago with me, not from comes from a position of ignorance about these activities. And it is amazing to see how real life situations have been used through the Nukkar Natak and through presentations, through drama, through role playing, coming onto stage to create the sense of confidence and the public commitment. Both are showcased. that in this beautiful newsletter which has been put out by Springdale's and by the DSLP. And I congratulate each one of you who is associated. And I truly hope that we continue to be associated with it. It has also set me thinking about several ways in which perhaps we can also, in higher education institutions, intervene in this literacy project in our limited areas, and see how we can take this forward and come together and converge on the great stage that you have provided. I thank you again very much, Dr. Bose, for and everyone else, and the DSLP, Mrs. Kumar, under your grand leadership. All of us have come together, and I thank you very much for this honor and this opportunity that you have given me to put before you a few thoughts of mine, and to get the opportunity to congratulate and compliment you and the children and the students who have been the learners and the educators, young educators who have been involved in this mission, in this wonderful, wonderful mission. And I wish it all well, and I hope that it goes on for many, many more decades to come. Thank you very much.
It was so heartening to listen to you, Dr. Saraf. No doubt that literacy is a cause close to your heart. Thank you for your words of inspiration and for being with us today. We now showcase a presentation of the prize-winning entries during Literacy Week 2020. Literacy Week began with the inauguration by the Manavsthali School through its chairperson, Mrs. Mamta Bhatnagar, who has been in the forefront of the movement. It will conclude today with a vote of thanks by Mrs. Ritu Madan, officiating principal of the host school, Springdale's Dholakwa. It has been gratifying to receive messages from the host schools in the contest. The New Era Public School, one of the founder schools of the project, organized the poetry recitation with a message from Mrs. Usha Chopra, director, and principal Mrs. Vandana Chawla. The Bluebells International School, with the director Mrs. Suman Kumar and principal Mrs. Manju Sethi, organized the posters, the cartoons, the slogans in the art. The Springdale School, Pusa Road, with a message from Dr. Amita Mullawatal, organized the declamation contest in English. The Dev Samaj Modern School, a founder school of the project, organized the Hindi script and story writing contest. We have a message from Mr. Manoj Madan, the principal.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम विजया रानी है और मैं एवरग्रीन पब्लिक स्कूल की छात्रा हूँ। आज मैं आप सबके समक्ष अपनी एक कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ, जिसका शीर्षक है जिंदगी है थोड़ी सी साथ। मुश्किल है वक्त, है जिंदगी थोड़ी सी साथ। रुकना यहाँ मना है और डरकर हार मान लेना बहुत बड़ी सज़ा है। कुदरत का ये ऐसा खेल है जहाँ सब कुछ फेल है। बंद है कॉलेज, बंद है स्कूल, लेकिन आज भी जिंदा है हम सब में पढ़ने का जुनून। ना रुके हैं हम, ना रुकेंगे, कोरोना के सामने हमारे सिर नहीं झुकेंगे। बंद है स्कूलों के दरवाजे तो क्या, जब पढ़ना है हमें तो पढ़ाई को रोक क्या। हर रोज़ सूरज निकलता है, बखूबी अपना काम करता है। हम भी हैं उस सूरज के जैसे। ए कोरोना, लगाओगे हमारी शिक्षा पर तुम रोक कैसे। ये वक्त है गुजर जाएगा, महामारी का अंधकार भी कट जाएगा। रुकी नहीं है शिक्षा की गति, बस बदल गई है पढ़ने की नीति। ऑनलाइन क्लासेस का सहारा है और कोई भी विद्यार्थी बिल्कुल भी नहीं बेसहारा है। आज भी अलार्म की घंटी है बजती और कॉपी किताब वाली टेबल है सजती। हर रोज पढ़ते हैं हम, हर समय की तरह आज भी निखरते हैं हम। कुछ समझ न आए तो टीचर है साथ हमारे, कोरोना अब ज़्यादा नहीं चलेंगे नखरे तुम्हारे। हाँ, माना है थोड़ी सी मुश्किलें, लेकिन आज भी हमारे आंगन में शिक्षा के फूल हैं खिले। कब तक रोकोगे हमें, हम ना रुकने वाले हैं। सपनों को पूरा करके हम आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं। साथ है हमारे अध्यापक अध्यापिका, इसलिए कोरोना नहीं कर पाया हमारी शिक्षा को फीका। हाँ, माना शुरुआत थी थोड़ी सी कठिन, लेकिन समझ में आ गया हमें कि कुछ भी नहीं नामुमकिन। अपना लिया नई जिंदगी जीने का नया ढंग, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस बन गए डिजिटल इंडिया के एक अंग। कहना चाहती हूँ सभी से, मत रोको अपनी पढ़ाई, मत करने दो कोरोना को अपनी विजय की चढ़ाई। भले हिंदू हो, मुस्लिम हो या हो सिख ईसाई। धन्यवाद।
मेरी कविता का शीर्षक है साक्षरता का रथ। मानव प्रगति की उस दिन संध्या वेला आई, उद्घोषणा हुई महामारी के प्रकोप की। तेल कान में डालकर जो सो रही थी नौकरशाही, अचानक उस दिन खड़ी हुई घोषणा तो मानो बिजली गिर पड़ी देश पर। हुई घोषणा तो मानो बिजली गिर पड़ी देश पर। ठप हुए रोजगार सभी, ताले पड़ गए दुकानों स्कूलों पर। घोषणा नहीं मानो आकाशवाणी थी कोई, देखते देखते जिंदगी मानो सील हो गई। पर जनाब, लॉकडाउन शहर बंद कर सकता है, पर पेट कहाँ बंद होता है। स्कूल कॉलेज बंद हो सकते हैं, पर सीखना कहाँ बंद होता है। अंधकार हो या सवेरा हो, अक्षर सदा जागते रहते हैं। जिज्ञासा जिसमें है सीखने की, उसे आलिंगनबद्ध भी करते हैं। फिर क्यों हम उनके आग्रह को ठुकराएं, क्यों ना उनको गले लगाएं। क्यों उदास बैठे रहे कमरों में, किताब और कलम की दुनिया में क्यों न लीन हो जाएं। ये किताब और कलम की ताकत है जो अज्ञानी को राह दिखाती है। महामारी वायरस के राक्षसों से लड़ने का गुर सिखाती है। ये जो मस्तिष्क पर हमारे एक सांकल चढ़ी हुई है, जात धर्म गरीबी भुखमरी सब भीतर बंद पड़ी है। इस सांकल को हमें खोलना होगा, इस सांकल को हमें खोलना होगा। निरक्षरता से लड़ना होगा, बना शिक्षा को हथियार अपना, इंसानियत को जिंदा रखना होगा। समय यही है उत्तम, समय यही है उत्तम। अपने अंतर मन में झांक लो, कोरोना के नाम पर इंसानियत न शर्मिंदा हो। दूरी रखें 2 गज की, पर दिलों में दूरी न कोई आए। न हो कोई चूक ऐसी कि जीवन अकारत हो जाए। सोचो सोचो एक बार, क्यों हम इतना डरे हुए हैं। जिंदा तो हैं, फिर भी मानो मरे हुए हैं। शिक्षित होकर भी राह भटके हुए हैं। प्रगति का मार्ग हमें किस विनाश की ओर ले आया है। मानवता शर्मिंदा है, आज धरती को संकट में पाया है। देश में निर्माण करने वाला क्यों सड़क पर मरता है, और देश चलाने वाला क्यों महलों में सोता है। इन प्रश्नों के उत्तर तुम्हें मिलेंगे इन्हीं किताबों में। इन प्रश्नों के उत्तर तुम्हें मिलेंगे इन्हीं किताबों में। न्याय देंगे ये अक्षर ही बेहतर दुनिया से मिलवाएंगे। शिक्षा के दम पर ही तुम आत्मसम्मान पाओगे। बादल अंधेरे के अपने आप छट जाएंगे। क्या हुआ जो अब तक तुम अक्षरों से दूर रहे। न खुशबू किताबों की ली तुमने, न जादू कलम का जान सके। पर समय नहीं रुका कभी, न लौट कर आने वाला है। साक्षरता अभियान का रथ न थमा कभी, न थमने वाला है। पेड़ों पर फूल भले न खिले हों, पेड़ों पर फूल भले न खिले हों, अंकुर तो दिखाई देते हैं। पढ़ते और पढ़ाते रहेंगे, ये प्रण हम आज फिर लेते हैं, ये प्रण हम आज फिर लेते हैं। धन्यवाद।
I welcome and congratulate all the warriors of Delhi Literacy Schools project for changing the world bit by bit every day. All of us have gathered here today to reaffirm and pledge our support to the cause of education in our country. For a developing country like ours, education and literacy can be instrumental in poverty reduction, economic growth, and reducing many ills from society like the infant mortality rate and rigid social beliefs. Education, ladies and gentlemen, is an investment in a country like ours. DSLP was launched in 1988 with the aim of spreading literacy in Delhi. The results of our endeavors are here for everyone to see. It's a matter of pride for all of us that since its launch in 1988, DSLP has been successful in making 130,000 learners literate. DSLP has evolved and continues to grow from strength to strength with the guidance of Dr. Rajni Kumar, founder and honorary advisor of DSLP. In his 32nd year, let's commit ourselves to eliminate illiteracy in our country once again. It's a request to all young students who have been participating in literacy mission functions for last many years. I would request you to please keep in mind when you grow old that you have a task to complete, and that is to eradicate illiteracy from our country. Don't ever forget it, in case we want our country to be strong and a developed nation. Thank you.
Good morning. On the occasion of the valedictory event of the Delhi School Literacy Project Week of Competitions, I wish to express my appreciation for all the teachers, the volunteers, the students that have worked so hard to put together this wonderful event. I am so touched by the effort of all the teachers who made it possible by organizing for the first time the event, which was online. And I can share with the absolute knowledge that it was tough, and some of our teachers from our school were awake till almost 1 o'clock at night to ensure that the event went on smoothly. I thank all those teachers, not only from our school, but from every school, because I'm sure that the challenges faced by them were equally difficult. I wish to express my appreciation for all the wonderful performances that came our way. Times like this, literacy is something that will really protect people from the hazards of this disease or of any other calamity that might befall humankind. So let me just conclude by saying that there is no other area as important as literacy for humankind, not only in India, but all over the world. I wish to thank everyone once again, and I hope you have a good day ahead.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome the participating schools to this online event of poster, slogan, and cartoon making competition this morning.
My memory goes back to the corridors of 1988 when this literacy project began with a handful of schools. Bluebells, being one of the founder members led by late Mrs. G. Soni, the then principal, along with Dr. Rajni Kumar, shared a deep friendship and a vision of building a literate India. Dr. Rajni Kumar has been a forerunner and a powerhouse of this robust and lofty mission. The Delhi School Literacy Project aimed not only to work for the eradication of illiteracy in the city, but was also an endeavor to train young minds towards their societal responsibility and give back to society. Our late Mrs. P. Lumba was the pillar of support to DSLP. She worked tirelessly in monitoring and guiding the project. Her passion was a key strength behind the success of the literacy mission. Sustained hard work of DSLP has unlocked numerous doors of learning throughout, rife for community development and health, and opened the way for active citizenship. In all these years, the project expanded beyond just literacy to a multi-dimensional literacy movement in the state. There's nothing as powerful as education, and today we must reiterate our support to the mission and together dream for an educated India. Let us commit to live in a world where every man, woman, and child can write their own future, where they can dream to live in a society with dignity and justice, and conditions that comprise positive peace. Our heartiest congratulations to Dr. Rajni Kumar, Dr. Jyoti Bose, and Dr. Ritu Verma, and all members associated with DSLP for making the National Literacy Mission a great success and a living reality. Congratulations.
Once this darkness is over, we won't remember how we survived. We won't even remember how the days passed once our usual life is revived. So mighty is this unseen enemy, wearing an invisible cloak, no feet, no gun, no sword, yet it kills nearly every folk. This place once...
A Promise to Eradicate Illiteracy by Chandra Tyagarajan. The dark veil of flowing illiteracy as a canopy on our growing democracy covers many crores of our great lot, under which teeming with ignorance rot. Unaware of the going on around, stark illiteracy with poverty bound. The window of the wide world is shut, and the kaleidoscopic view of the panorama is cut. The spiritual and intellectual development not sparked off by literary involvement is a curse on the person and the nation, as multitudes live like animals sans education. Let us scouts now make out a promise, a multi-pronged attack without a miss, to launch on illiteracy, the monster dreadful, with the spirit of commitment and hearts so full. Thank you.
One great vision unites us, though remote be the land of our birth.
हेलो
Rose may threaten and
अरे यार मैं एक मीटिंग में
to be live to bring peace to the earth. One great vision unites us, though remote be the land of our birth. Foes may threaten and smite us, till we live to bring peace to the earth.
After 6 months of deep disruption, education stands on fragile grounds everywhere. Without remedial measures, this crisis will magnify the educational failures that already existed before it, said UNESCO Assistant Director General for Education, Ms. Stefania Giannini. While literacy understands the progression of human development through a rubric forming foundations, education adopts a rather comprehensive and broader approach to learning. And this holistic learning does not come to a standstill even during a pandemic. It rather adapts to a new milieu but does not cease, since it forms the cornerstone of human behavior, curiosity, and identity. For instance, lockdown compelled us to grow in different forms as interactions and community learning adapted. Initiatives have spanned the metropolitan and the rural, whether they are the Delhi government's homeschool syllabi or school teachers in Jharkhand using loudspeakers to teach. This comprehension, however, does not disregard the reality that the pandemic has obviously disrupted education to an enormous degree. But this necessitates even better forms of disseminating knowledge to compensate for the damage and loss already incurred in both the academic as well as the general developmental vertical. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, learning cannot wait, especially during this crisis, since we require such vital compensation. Many NGOs like Oxfam India, Save the Children, and World Vision in India are working at the grassroots level to redress educational impairment, both on and off the virtual screen. The very fact that we do not consider this problem exclusively in said context is because we find ourselves under-equipped to deal with it and thus resort to a passive reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not require a passive reaction, but rather a proactive action to produce a suitable resolution. We require creative innovation of the educational sphere so that foundational learning is not debilitated due to a problem which we can possibly find a solution to. However, that said, such idealism must be guided with great caution. We cannot put literacy and education in one global monolith. Structured inequalities are intrinsic to the world, whether they exist as the first and the third world or the wealthy and the impecunious. This implies that while one section of the world aims for revamping the entire educational landscape, the other suffers from deprivation and its general lack of priority. For many, ladies and gentlemen, learning has definitively ceased due to no fault of their own. And this will lead to deepening of material and social divides even in the future, purely based on access to opportunities. But alternatively, and more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we might just be under the emphasis that only our learning cannot wait even during a global crisis, which is a deplorable idea to begin with. Ladies and gentlemen, the unfortunate truth is that this question is about inequality. Inequality of access, of opportunity, and conclusively and comprehensively, inequality of privilege. This imperatively rests responsibility on us to use the very privilege which allows us to be here today in a resolute and optimistic manner so that we can move into a positively literate tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was 6 years old when I first saw the animated movie Finding Nemo. It's something that Dory, a forgetful bluefish, said in the movie that I want to share with you. When life gets you down, you know what you got to do? Just keep swimming. Today, the only way to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic is to keep on swimming. I'm sure you agree that 2020 has been a brazen year. Travel halted, schools shut, jobs gone, economies in shambles, and countless lives lost. And while vaccine trials and economic bailout packages are in the news, no one seems to be talking about literacy. In the present context, we must redefine literacy. It's not just about proficiency in the 3 R's anymore. It's about digital, health, and functional literacy. The problem is in this pandemically digital world. With the literacy rate hovering at 77.7%, Most adults above the age of 45 in India are digitally illiterate. In fact, we have a digital apartheid in the making, and it's a game between the haves and the have-nots. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns us that we are looking at a generational catastrophe. More than 1 billion children are missing out on formal studies. 773 million adults globally are illiterate, and this number is all set to rise. Isn't it time the government finds swift ways to foster digital connectivity to include not only adults, but children with special needs, minorities, disadvantaged communities, refugees, and displaced persons? The existing gap between definitions, policy discourse, and ground reality has never been clearer. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of a learning crisis. The National Digital Literacy Mission Program and the National Optical Fiber Network are positive steps to transform each household into a digitally literate one. Public-private partnership and investment must reinforce low-tech solutions like Doordarshan and All India Radio. The PM's E-Vidya package, One Class, One Channel initiative, Swayam Prabha DTH channels are steps in the right direction. E-Pathshala, Diksha, Swayam, Nishtha, National Digital Library must be further strengthened. They should include adult literacy videos and tutorials. Along with free rations, e-tablets can be distributed. All telecom companies could come up with low-cost data plans only for educators. If there were more health literacy, then we would not have had such a large community spread in our country. Local health clinics like the Mohalla clinics, Panchayat and district-level health centers must educate people about protection, prevention and government insurance schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Functional literacy must receive a shot in the arm with private investment. While farmers in rural India are struggling to get a good price for their produce, scores of unemployed women can be taught skills they can monetize such as stitching, local handicrafts, pickle making, etc. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more lucrative today than mask making. To encapsulate, isn't it obvious that literacy cannot wait in this global crisis? The pandemic has made us realize critical flaws in our efforts towards literacy, and therefore, I come back to the bluefish. It is time to relearn and move on. The error of the past is the wisdom of the future. It is time for us to take on our duty and build upon our newfound realization to create a better, efficient, and more adaptable literacy system for a brighter future. Thank you.
The Delhi School Literacy Project, the brainchild of the visionary Dr. Rajni Kumar, who realized even more than 3 decades ago how important it was to build in school community partnerships. This has been an initiative that has brought together so many urban slum clusters, their learners, has brought in the Each One Teach Many project, whether it has been done through mobile literacy vans or through health checks and camps, and bringing schools together in making so many young people literate. Across Delhi, this has been a great success story of literacy, of shiksha, of a youth to youth and a school to school connect. Kudos to that great visionary, Dr. Rajni Kumar, and her group for having thought of something which is so remarkable and binds lives, learning, and humanity in one place.
नमस्कार। कोरोना आया, बहुत डराया, हर ओर तबाही का मंजर हिलाया। रुक गई जिंदगी की रफ्तार, विद्यालयों की रौनक हो गई बेजार, गली कूचे हुए वीरान, लेकिन डीएसएलपी आगे बढ़ती गई, हाथों में साक्षरता को थाम, उत्साह बढ़ाया, आशा का परचम लहराया, एक सूत्र में बांध सभी को अपना दमखम है दिखलाया। I, Manoj Madan, Principal, Dev Samaj Modern School, extend my heartfelt congratulations to the team DSLP under the umbrella of revered Madam Rajni Kumar. DSLP has been doing commendable job in the field of literacy for the last 30 years. And during this pandemic, during this tough time, the way DSLP kept the flame of literacy alive, it's great. Everyone is so scared, feeling pain and suffering. But despite that, DSLP involved all the institutions to come forward and show the spirit of oneness. I always feel myself honored to be the part of DSLP, this unique mission of literacy. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the team DSLP for giving us the opportunity to organize the script and story writing competition this year, which was a great success. I salute to all the principals, teachers, and students, those who were actively involved in this process. The outcome was very encouraging. And after going through the poems and scripts of the students, one thing was very clear, that the students were very clear and they clearly stated, come what may, we will be the winner. हमारे अंदर जज्बा है, हम जीत के दिखाएंगे, कितना भी कठिन समय आ जाए, हमें कोई रोक नहीं सकता. We will shape the destiny of our nation to lead the world. और ये बच्चों ने कर दिखाया. जो इस बार का विषय था कि लिटरेसी कांट वेट ड्यूरिंग दिस ग्लोबल क्राइसिस, उसे चरितार्थ कर दिया, उसे सार्थक कर दिया बच्चों ने. क्या खूब लिखा, क्या स्पिरिट थी. द ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स एंड टीचर्स was really very amazing. It was a wonderful event. So once again, I thank DSLP for giving us the opportunity and making Dev Samaj Modern School is the path of this beautiful journey. Thank you very much. Thank you.
After these presentations that you saw, the exciting moment for the prize giving has dawned. Each of the host schools had selected their own panel of judges, and I request Dr. Ritu Verma, Assistant Coordinator, Delhi Schools Literacy Project, to kindly announce the names of the students and showcase the trophies.
Good afternoon to all. We request all participants here to kindly keep their device on mute. Literacy Week Competitions 2020 has been an innovative learning experience, challenging and sometimes frustrating, but surely a great success. As our theme suggested, literacy can't wait during this global crisis. We have succeeded in organizing 8 out of 12 competitions held every year to celebrate International Literacy Day and reiterate our commitment to eradicating illiteracy. And here are the awards and prizes for the best out of the best. Undoubtedly, all the 250 participants put in their very best with the guidance and support of their principals and teachers. And this year, even their parents. Congratulations to all participants. The story and script writing competition was organized by Dev Samaj Modern School. The story writing competition is, and the first prize in this category goes to Anhad Gautam of Bluebell School International. The second position to Kanak of Mount Carmel School Anand Niketan. And the third is a tie between Simra of Dev Samaj Modern School Nehru Nagar and Arshikta Kaur from SS Mota Singh Senior Secondary School, Paschim Vihar. Congratulations to the winners in this category. And now for the script writing competition for the seniors. These two competitions were both in Hindi. The first position in this category goes to Arpit Kaur of Guru Tegh Bahadur Third Centenary Public School. The second to Utkarsh from Dev Samaj Modern School, Sukhdev Vihar. And the third to Shireen Nanda of Springdale School, Pusa Road. Your bold, positive, inspiring writings, as Mr. Madan just told us, were really fantastic. Thank you, Dev Samaj Modern School, for hosting this event. The next event was the declamation with the PowerPoint presentation, which was hosted by Springdale School, Pusa Road, on the 25th of September. And the winners of this competition were, well, it was a tie between Springdale School, Dholakua, and Pusa Road. And we saw both the presentations at the moment, and we can understand why the tie was there. Sanchya Sahadev and Shruti Kakkar from Springdale School, Dholakua. One student speaks and the other has made the PowerPoint. And from Pusa Road, we have Gitansh Arora and Prashanti Chamoli. These are the winners for the declamation. The first position, which was a tie. And the second position in this category goes to Aparna Gosain and Jereen Johnson from St. Francis de Sales School. Congratulations. The third position goes to Raghav Bhatia and Govind Sharma from Manav Sthali School, Rajendra. And now for the next competition, the poster, slogan, and cartoon making competition, which was hosted by Bluebells International School, Kailash Colony on the 29th of September. You saw some of the beautiful work of the students. We look forward to getting them all together and presenting them in the exhibition in April 2021. The winners of the poster making competition in English were Divjot Singh of SS Mota Singh Senior Secondary School, Janakpuri. The second position, Bhavna Bhargav from Sadhu Vaswani International School for Girls. And the third, Shruti Mohanty from APJ School, Pitampura. Congratulations to you all. And the winners of the slogan writing, this time in Hindi, Gursifat Kaur from Guru Tegh Bahadur Third Centenary Public School got the first position, and the second position went to Lakshit Pathak, Mount Abu Public School, and the third to Ria Kavi of New Era School, Dwarka. The winners of the cartoon making competition held again at Bluebells. You can imagine having 3 competitions at a time. They had 3 waiting rooms where they put the students separately, and the students worked there for 3 hours. The Zoom was on while the students did their artwork. And the cartoon making competition, the first position goes to Keshav Gupta of Amity International School, Saket. The second to Shubhangi Sinha from Bluebell School International. And the third to Srijan Kaur from Guru Tegh Bahadur Third Centenary Public School. Congratulations to the winners of this category. And now the most Joshila, the poetry recitation competition, hosted by the New Era Public School, Mayapuri, on the 30th of September. जोश भरी कविता, होश दिलाने वाली, positive, inspiring, self-composed, and forward-looking. Congratulations to all participants. Next year, we hope to publish your work in the magazine Jago and Jagrati. And the winners of the poetry recitation competition, well, it was a tough one to decide. And that is why the first position has a tie between Vijaya Rani of Evergreen Public School and Anika Sahu of Springdale School, Dholakua. You heard both their beautiful poetries today. The second position went to Sridatri Bhattacharya from Bluebell School International, and the third to Manmeet Kaur of SS Mota Singh Senior Secondary School, Janakpuri. Congratulations to all the winners. I wish we could clap, but students, participants, I'm sure you're hearing the resounding of the claps of the students. And now for the trophies. Out of the trophies donated by well-wishers and the benefactors of the DSLP, this year we are giving only 4 trophies. In April 2021, the other trophies, along with the scholarships, will be awarded. And the very first trophy that we are announcing today is the SM Arya Memorial Trophy for work in the community in the Northwest Zone, which is awarded to Springdale School, Pusa Road. The success of this Swashakti program has provided them with a platform for varied short-term and long-term courses, including food preservation, community work, computer literacy, and beauty and culture. Their initiatives at the adopted communities of Dasgara and Todapur has had a far-reaching effect, along with the Mahila Ashram and the Vridha Ashram that the students assist at. Interestingly, even during the pandemic, observing all SOPs, assistance is being provided. Needy students are being assisted with smartphones, remedial classes, and counseling during this difficult time. Congratulations to Principal Mrs. Amita Mullawatal and her team. The next trophy in the same category is the Henry Sells Memorial Trophy for the exemplary work in the community in the Southeast Zone, which is awarded to Springdale School, Dhalakua. Their programs include initiatives in adopted communities, Kamyab and Swabhiman, vocal campaigns like Legal Sakhi and Swachhta Pakwara, and No Plastic campaigns. The pandemic has not deterred their spirit at all, and they have initiated the virtual volunteering program, Mentor Guidance for academically weak students, and the Best Buddy program with Naidasha, Tamanna, and the National Association for the Blind. Congratulations to officiating principal, Mrs. Ritu Madan and her team. And now, for the calendar of events that we had, 26 schools participated in the Virtual Literacy Week competitions, the details of which have been already shared by the host schools in their presentations. The overall trophies for these events are based on maximum marks and the positions attained, and they are sponsored by the Matrani family. The MP Matrani Trophy for excellence in the Literacy Week competitions in the Northwest Zone this year goes to the GTB Third Centenary Public School. They have 2 first positions and 1 second position. Congratulations to Principal Mrs. Jaspreetham Kaur and her participating students and the teachers in charge who worked doubly hard. Congratulations, ma'am. The MP Matrani Trophy for excellence in the Literacy Week competitions in the Southeast Zone is awarded to Bluebells School International. They have won first position and 2 second positions in the competitions. Congratulations to Principal Mrs. Manju Sethi, her efficient teachers, and all participants. With this, we come to an end of the award function for 2020. Congratulations again to all participants and to the teachers who put in their very best to make this virtual competition a success. Thank you.
Today's function would be incomplete without the greetings of Dr. Rajni Kumar, who will be on Zoom today to say a few words to the audience. Dr. Rajni Kumar.
My dearest friends and fellow members of the DSSP, I bring you my warm greetings on the occasion of this lovely function. Who could have imagined that we would not be meeting with the usual hugs and hellos on the occasion as we have done so many years in the past? But que sera, sera. What will be, will be. We do not know what the future holds for us. I would especially like to thank Dr. Saraf for so kindly being with us and giving us such an inspiring and thought-provoking talk. She is such a lovely personality and, of course, an erudite scholar. Thank you, Babli. I cannot imagine that such a small group of schools who got together in 1988 have now inspired over 100 schools in Delhi to involve themselves in the eradication of illiteracy from Delhi state. Indeed, with everybody's blessings and help, the DSLP has become a very large movement today with a variety of programs and activities all related to functional literacy. I deeply miss Mrs. Lumba, who is no longer with us today. And I'm sure all of you do too, for she made such a valuable contribution as secretary of the project. Bless her. But it is heartwarming to see all of you on the screen today. Usha Chopra, I believe, is here, and Mamta Bhatnagar. I don't know. There's Susmit over there.
Usha
and who's it? And that's Usha. Yes, Usha Ram.
There's so many more.
And of course, there are so many more. Mrs. Wattle and Mr. and Mrs. Matrani, I think, are here.
Yes.
Mrs. Sujit Kohli and Suman Kumar from Bluebells. Forgive me if I have not mentioned everyone. Mr. Mohan Kumar, I believe you are here with us, such a wonderful supporter of our movement. Sadhna, of course, Sadhna Bala. And Mrs. Jolly, I'm sure you must be somewhere looking on at this program. So my greetings to all of you. I'd like to thank you, all of you, for all the work that you have been doing. It's really been wonderful to work with so many people really dedicated to a cause. And there can be no better cause than the cause of removing illiteracy from our land. I'm sure that in the time to come, the DSLP will carry on and grow from strength and strength and achieve our goals. I congratulate all the prize winners and student volunteers of the schools who are guided by their social workers, their teachers, their principals and directors, and I wish them all every success in their endeavors. My best wishes and love to all of you. I would also like to mention particularly the founders of the project who have been with us consistently over these 32 years, as well as the chairman and the secretary of our Springdale's board, who are actively involved in all of these projects. Bless you all. Thank you all indeed. And my best wishes and love to all of you.
After these words of inspiration, Literacy Week of the DSLP comes to an end for 2020, at a time when the pandemic of COVID is upon us. I request Mrs. Ritu Madan to kindly propose the vote of thanks on the occasion.
Our most valued guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all. I am extremely humbled and honored and intellectually stimulating gathering of the virtual valedictory function of the very successful Literacy Week activities so excellently organized by the DSLP and partnering schools. First and foremost, I convey our heartfelt thanks from all of us at Springdale's to Professor Babli Moitra Saraf, Principal, Indraprasth College for Women, Delhi University, for her gracious presence. Professor Saraf, it was truly a pleasure today to have you in our midst. Your thought provoking address has indeed enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. We are extremely grateful to you for being with us. I also take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation on behalf of the entire fraternity of DSLP to our most loved and valued mentor, Dr. Rajni Kumar, Chairperson, Springdale's Education Society, and Honorary Advisor, DSLP, for steering our vision and for her invaluable contribution to the cause of literacy. Ma'am, on behalf of all of us present today, I thank you for your constant guidance, inspiration, and support to the DSLP over the years. I would also like to extend my thanks to the management and all members of the Springdale's Education Society for gracing the occasion. Your presence is always appreciated by all the donors of awards who have supported the literacy project over the years. We wish to place on record our sincere appreciation and thanks to the founder schools of the Literacy Project for partnering to host the contests, as without your tireless and collective efforts, it would not have been possible to hold the Literacy Week activities. We extend special thanks to Mrs. Usha Chopra, Director, New Era Public School, and Principal, Mrs. Vandana Chawla, Mrs. Suman Kumar, Director, Bluebells International School, and Principal, Mrs. Manju Sethi, Dr. Amita Mulla Watal, Principal, Springdale School, Pusa Road, and Mr. Manoj Madan, Principal, Dev Samaj Model, for your beautiful presentations, messages, and participation. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling days in advance. We would like to acknowledge the contribution of Mrs. Ritu Verma, Assistant Coordinator DSLP, and her entire team towards the success of this event. I wish to congratulate her on behalf of all the participating schools for the beautiful success of the first ever Virtual Literacy Week Contests 2020. It was indeed a splendid event, and participating in all of them was a delightful experience. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated social workers, teachers, technical team of not only Springdale's, but of all the participating schools. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. And I know participating on this new platform was not easy at all. Friends, no event can take shape without a hardworking leader. The backbone of this grand function and pillar of support throughout the entire journey has been Dr. Jyoti Bose, Director of Springdale Schools and member Springdale's Education Society. Ma'am, I would like to convey my special thanks to you for not only anchoring the event, but above and beyond, I would like to put across that your dedication and enthusiasm is exemplary and radiates a source of energy within all of us. Thank you. Most importantly, and I'm sure this August gathering will agree with me, that all of us are extremely proud of the relentless efforts and deep commitment of the student community who went an extra mile to uphold the beacon of literacy and the immense resilience exhibited by the participating teams even during the pandemic. It is you, dear students, who are the real heroes of today's event, and I congratulate you for your endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, this virtual event has proven to be a unique celebration of the cause of literacy. To conclude, let me once again reiterate my gratitude to all. Thank you.
Friends, thank you all for your presence and participation. Let us continue to light the lamp of determination and commitment through these dark times. We hope to meet next year at our school auditorium, resounding with the chatter and laughter of children. Thank you.